Hi everyone, this is Mike, and welcome to today's video, which I guess we can call Scammers Be Scamming, and How Not to Be Scammed by One. 101. The Basics. Okay, yeah, that was a little overly dramatic, but that's okay. We're talking about scammers here, and what we can do to not get roped in. Now, if you've been in the VO business for a while, no doubt you have come across the Ashwood curse. Now, I'm not talking specifically about the Ashwood curse today. It's a part of what I'm going to talk about because it's involved in this particular email that I got. But if you're new to the game and you haven't dealt with the Ashwood curse yet, you will. Consider it a rite of passage or a milestone in your VO career. Put it on your bingo card. I'm actually thinking about making a bingo card. Could be fun. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about how you can avoid scammers before you even finish reading the email. What are the red flags and the signs and things that we can look for that will help us to know that it's a scammer before they even tempt you? So last Friday, October the 3rd, I got an email from the lovely Miss Olivia Pierce. She's not real. She's completely made up, and I'm going to show you how I know. But the lovely Miss Olivia Pierce emailed me from Pyongyang telling me she had a wonderful deal for me in a voiceover job. Let me show you the first couple things you need to take a look at when you get an email in your spam account or in your regular account that will help you to throw up those red flags. Okay, so here is the email as it showed up to me. And the first thing that should alert you that it is a possible scam is the email address from which it comes. We're looking at a Gmail account, one with some numbers in it. That there is a big red flag in itself. Not that some freelancers and other people don't use their Gmail account, but they shouldn't use their Gmail account. One of the first things you learn when you get into any business is that your web presence is integral to getting clients and maintaining an image. One of the first things you're supposed to do when you start a VO business is to get yourself a website. When you get yourself a website, you should immediately get yourself an email that is attached to your website. Mine is michael@thevoiceofmichaellyons.com. I have a Gmail address, but that's for personal stuff. That's not for business stuff. So if you look and it's coming from a Gmail account, that's a red flag. It's not a guarantee, but it's a red flag. If you want to find out a little bit more about this person, simply click on that little tiny down arrow underneath of their email and find out some more. Now, this little detail was given to me by the folks at UPS because I got emails about packages being held, and the scammers want you to click on it and give them all the information, and then you're busted, and they got you. So if you didn't already know this, the first thing you need to do is click on that button and see from whom it's actually coming. Businesses like UPS and FedEx and Amazon are highly unlikely to email you anyway. But even if they did, their email would come from something like no reply at ups.com. no reply at Amazon.com, something like that. It is not going to be some lengthy Gmail address, or even worse, some lengthy email address with 4 different dots and 3 M's and a silent Q. The next thing I want you to take a look at is the date and time. October the 3rd, 2025, 4:57 a.m. So she's either in the office really, really early, or she's overseas. Now, there is the potential that some clients will send you emails at 5 o'clock in the morning because they're in the UK. And for them, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So we want to take a look at the bottom to find out where she's from. Pyongyang.com, San Francisco. Nope. I doubt very much that she is up at 2 o'clock in the morning sending me a business email. It can wait. So that right there is another big old red flag. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to screen capture the wonderful photos attached to Miss Olivia's email. They were clearly AI generated, and 2 different ones of 2 different people. Another big red flag right there. At this point, I already know, I'm 99% sure I'm dealing with a scam. But it's me. And I'm willing to give people a little more benefit of the doubt. And I also like jacking with scammers. So I want to see just how deep into this they're going to go. And most of all, I want to know what scam in particular they're going to try and get me with. So let's take a look at the text part of this. All right. So here's what we have. Hi, Michael. I'm Olivia Pierce. Stop right there. And notice the fact that she has now spelled her last name differently than that which is in her email address. Whoopsie. So either she's just not careful, or she's lying her butt off. I'm Olivia Pierce, project director at Pyongyang. Another red flag. I'm not going to say that you'll never get an email from a big company looking for you to do a voiceover project for them. It's entirely possible. Maybe this much. Maybe this much. It could happen. If they already know you, it could happen. But let's be realistic for a moment, okay? If a big company like, let's say Coca-Cola, just off the top of my head, if a big company like Coca-Cola wants to produce a commercial, they are going to hire someone to do that. Now, I'm sure that they have a marketing department, but that marketing department is not going to go out and find a voiceover artist. That marketing department is going to go and hire contractors, agencies, and they are going to source that unless there's a famous person that they really, really want in their commercial. The chances of somebody like that emailing me from a big company saying, we want you to do a voiceover for us, super, super slim. It's probably going to come through my agents. It's probably going to come on a platform where they have posted, like a voices.com or a voice123 or something like that. It's not likely they're going to send it right to you. I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying that's yet another big red flag. Let's keep reading. We're producing a creative narrative project for an upcoming private conference session and are currently looking for a professional voice actor to bring it to life. Ooh, sounds good. I came across your work recently and was impressed by your clarity and ability to tell a story that holds attention. Stop right there. No, no, you did not. You did not come across my work and find it engaging. You didn't stumble across my work. You weren't standing in a store and hear a voiceover on a commercial and go, "Who is that? Hmm, I should go and research that and find out who that is so I can have their voice in my program." No, nobody is going to stumble across your work. They came looking for it. They Googled male voiceover artist. They went on a platform and posted. They went to an agency and said, "I need somebody something like this." Nobody just comes across your work. There's about 20 jokes here, and I'm not going to tell any of them. No, she didn't. We're aiming to capture a voice that sets the right atmosphere and connects with the audience immediately. Sounds like a plan. I do have to raise my eyebrow at the word capture. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, I'd be happy to share the details on scope, timeline, and compensation. And if we take a look at her email signature, oh look, a completely different Gmail account. That right there is enough to tell me I'm dealing with a scammer. But since I love jacking with some scammers, I'm going to keep on going. Now, it's not to say that companies don't already have a budget range in which they're willing to work, but a lot of companies are not already going to have a fixed price on this. They're going to ask you for a quote because they would love to save $500 as much as anybody else. So they'll ask for a quote. They're probably not going to offer you an already set amount of money unless it's coming through a platform where they have already worked that out with an agency. Again, not a guarantee, but the likelihood of this being a scam is coming up by notches. So call it another red flag. We'll talk more about payment later. So, being me, pretty likely I'm dealing with a scam. I'm going to go ahead and respond, but I'm going to stay professional because you never do know. Good morning, Olivia. Thank you so much for contacting me regarding your project and for your kind words about my work. I'd love to know on which site you found my work so I can keep track for my SEO data if you don't mind sharing. So, the reason I bring that up is because if they stumbled across my work, I'd like to know where. And they're probably not going to have an answer for it. I'd like to know more about your project and company so I can create an appropriate quote and contract for my services. Could you please provide the following information to be included in any henceforward documents? And I recommend that you do this if you are ever unsure, or even if you're sure that it's not a scam. You need to be looking out for you. You need to be paying attention to your business. Some important questions to ask. Company website link. I want to know if they even know who the company is that they're trying to pretend to be. Company mailing address. Office specific for you if multiple offices. Show me that you have a business address. If you really work for Pangyan.com, then give me your address. Where would I send a bill to? Where would I send correspondence to? Direct contact business phone number. I want to be able to call you. If I have a problem that needs immediate assistance, I want to call you on the phone. Company email, not Gmail. Show me that you actually work for that company. Project specifics, including time frame, due dates, total word count, complete script, and a preferred payment method, PayPal, Wise, etc. That one is the key sometimes because they will often try to find strange ways to pay you. Once all of the important information is provided, I can create a quote and contract for services and, if desired, a short sample of audio from your script for review. Again, I really appreciate your consideration, and I look forward to hearing back from you and to the possibility of moving forward with this project. Best regards, Michael. So even though I know it's a scammer, I'm going to give them a little benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to maintain my integrity for now. I'm going to go ahead and be professional because you never do know. The last thing you want to do is come off looking like a jerk because you guessed wrong. The time for being a jerk comes later.
If I do it, I get a weapon. I do it.
Let's move on to the next email. And here's where it starts to get fun. Thank you for your interest. Here's a closer look at the project. The reason why I'm mailing you with this Gmail is due to the fact that my Pagyan mail, notice she now spelled her company name wrong and not in capital, was hacked by online intruders, but I am working on it to get those bastards. Gosh, Miss Olivia, those are some really powerful words for somebody who has never met me. I don't know that I would call that highly professional of you. Not to mention it just being a bold lie. But that's neither here nor there. And we'll get a new one ready in no time. So please bear with me. No, based on that spelling, I am not bearing a thing. Thank you very much. And I don't think I want this scammer to either. No, your business email was not hacked by online intruders, and you don't have to temporarily use your Gmail to get work done. Sorry, not how it works. Not to mention the fact that she had a Gmail attached to her signature for the company, different from the one she's using. So no. This is my WhatsApp contact. Bingo. There's your biggest red flag of the bunch. I'm not saying there aren't people that use WhatsApp. Europe, Asia, a lot of folks use WhatsApp. I have one client in particular in India who contacts me through WhatsApp Business, but I don't exchange money or anything through WhatsApp with them or anybody else. Anytime somebody wants to shift to WhatsApp quickly, run for the hills. Yes, you can receive payment via PayPal, Wise, etc. Well, that's nice. A lot of times they don't do that. They want you to give them bank account information, or they want to send you an overpayment. I understand the level of scam these days is very high, but let me enlighten you that I am a very honest and realistic person, and I always want to maintain a very good business relationship with my employees, so please don't take me for granted because I am always transparent with my employees. First of all, TMI. I didn't ask. I didn't even mention scammers. So I don't know why she went right there. Except that she's trying to placate me ahead of time. Another big red flag. Not to mention, where is it? Oh, yeah, I am not your employee. Thank you very much. Continuing. The story is called The Ashwood Curse. It is a suspenseful piece about an abandoned village and the students who uncover its haunting past. The recording will be featured as part of the opening session at a remote work and innovation conference. So there it is, the infamous Ashwood Curse, which has gone the rounds for years uncounted. It's not real. There is a pretend script, which they might send you, but it's not real. This is a narrative-only project. No AI, cloning, or secondary use. Oh, crap. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, no AI, cloning, or secondary use. And that's the thing about some of these scams is it's not all about scamming you out of money anymore. Sometimes it's simply scamming you out of work. In a lot of these cases, everything seems legit. You send them the files, you don't get the money, and they turn around and sell your voice off. So you gotta be careful. If you'd like to proceed, I'll share the scope, direction, and rate. Well, gosh, Miss Olivia, I already asked for that information. At this point, I'm deciding whether or not I want to continue to engage with these knuckleheads. But why not? Could be fun. Let's see how far they're willing to take it. Hi, Olivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Please do share the scope, direction, and rate, as I'd like to include the details in the quote. Mike. Polite, courteous, and professional. Here are the details for the project. Project, The Ashwood Curse. Length, 4,000 words, 20 pages. Format, narrative voiceover. Compensation, $2,000 US. Wow. If it looks too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. 4,000 words, we're talking maybe an hour of finished audio, maybe. Probably 2 to 3 hours of work at $2,000 on a non-union job out of nowhere. I don't think so. Timeline: 72 to 75 hours after receiving the final script. I'm sorry, come again? 72 to 75 hours? So basically 3 days or 3 days and 3 hours. No, no, I don't think so. Well, Miss Olivia, I guess I've had enough of this conversation. So let's move on to the time when I get to have a little more personality in my response. Hi, Olivia, in quotes. Thanks for your prompt reply. That is indeed a generous payment for 4,000 words. Thankfully, I've been fully aware from the outset that this was a scam. You've chosen a classic. It is sad to know that you have no other means of income beyond scamming the unwary. Pathetic, really. I hope very much you mend your ways and find a more honest career. And best of luck on deciding how to spell your name. Love and kisses, Mike. I don't want anyone ever to say that I was not polite at least. So there you have it, the Ashwood Curse. I really didn't feel like pursuing it any further to give them anything of mine to work with. I hope that from this little video, you've taken away at least something in a way that will help you to recognize a scam before you even have to read the information in the text. Scammers be scamming, and they're getting better and better at it. So you have to do your due diligence. No respectable client should be afraid to answer questions. No respectable client should be dodging questions. So, in the long run, stay diligent, protect yourself, and ask all the questions because they should be perfectly happy to answer them. And keep an eye out for that bingo card. I just might work on that and make it available to everybody. And now, I'm going to hit the off button and open up this door so it's not 90 degrees in here anymore. Have a good day.